Hello, this is Pam. Today we'll be working on a bit of a flow and also doing some beginning inversions so that you can learn a little more about the finishing poses. So we'll start with just a few Sun Salutation A's. So coming to the top of your mat, wherever that is. Starting in Tadasana. Base of your big toes together, heels slightly apart or feet hip width, resting the shoulders down the back, drawing the lower belly. You're welcome to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Just feeling the balls of the feet and the heels on the floor. Maybe rocking from front to back a bit, finding a nice middle ground there as you breathe. Lifting the gaze, opening the eyes, bringing your hands to your heart. So we'll find our first inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees here if needed. Inhale, look forward. We're going to step back, find a plank. So the first one, I'll drop the knees, so you can do knees extended or drop the knees. So if your knees are dropped, you're shifting your hips forward. If you're extended, you're shifting toward the toes. Exhale through Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. You can curl the toes under to come to down dog or come to the knees first. Curl the toes under and then find down dog. First down dog. Fingers nice and wide apart, hands turned out slightly. You can bicycle the legs if you'd like. Maybe even bending the knees deeply. Next inhale brings the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Next one, find your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale brings your opposite foot back than the first time. Find your plank. I'll do extended legs this time. And we'll exhale through Chaturanga. You're going to shift toward the toes. Elbows come by your side. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, curling the toes under, down dog. Breathing here, maybe still keeping both knees bent or walking it out. Next inhale brings the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Third Sun Salutation, finding your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to your plank. Exhale through Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Maybe still bicycling the legs or even drawing the heels toward the floor, hips nice and high as you come back to your down dog. Next inhale brings the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Next one, we'll do 5 total, so 2 more. Finding your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to your plank. Draw the belly in, belly button in toward the spine. Exhale through Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hips up and back. Next inhale, feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last one, find your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathing here. Inhale, feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And now just for a couple of Sun Salutation Bs before we go into some additional standing poses. So still coming to the top of your mat, you can take a moment here, breathe, maybe catch your breath. We can start with the hands to the heart. Find a nice inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, fingertips toward the floor. Inhale, arms up to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find your plank. And like our first A, you can drop the knees here if you'd like. Exhale through Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now from here we're going to go to warrior one on the right side. Your left heel comes in toward the center of the mat, right foot forward. Nice, strong, grounded. Knee over ankle, press through the feet, nice and strong. Inhale up, warrior one. And then we're going to exhale through plank and Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Warrior one on the left side, right heel in. Left foot forward, left side. Push through the feet nice and strong. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale brings you down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths here at least. Breathing. Next inhale, feet forward. Exhale, fold. We're going to inhale into chair, drop the hips, bend the knees, find your chair. Exhale, standing. One more of those. Find a nice inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, fingertips toward the floor. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Shift forward through the toes. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hips up and back. Warrior one on the right side. Left heel in. Right foot forward. Knee over ankle. Pressing through the feet. Coming up strong. Exhaling down. Plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left side, right heel in, left foot forward. Knee over ankle, press through the feet, come up. Warrior one. Exhale down. Plank, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathing here, maybe catching your breath. Feeling warmed up, you can begin to draw the heels toward the floor. Next inhale, brings your feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair, drop the hips. Arms up, chair. Exhale, standing. All right. So now we'll go into a Tadasana to get a nice wrist stretch in. Take a couple of breaths first. Feet hip distance. We're going to bend the knees as we come forward. It's about catching the toes with the fingers so that we can push with the toes, pull with the fingers, find that wrist stretch. So we can bend the knees deeply here if needed. Inhale. Exhale, come forward. Knees bent, first two fingers around the big toes. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Elbows out to the side, rest the head and neck. I'm going to be pushing down with the toes, pulling up with the hands. Next inhale, begin to straighten the arms and look forward. Release the fingers. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale all the way up. And now we'll step out to the right. For a few standing poses, we'll start with Trikonasana Triangle. So turn your right toes out, left toe slightly in. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, first let's reach and hinge over the right leg, placing the hand on the leg, foot, or toe. Inhaling the left arm up. You can gaze up at the thumb as your drishti. If that's uncomfortable, you could always look down for the sake of your neck and breathe. Next, exhale, looking down. Inhale to bring yourself up. You can keep the arms up as you switch the feet or relax them. So turning your left foot out, right toe slightly in. Find your inhale. Exhale, hinge. Finding where the hand lands on the left leg, foot, or even grabbing the toe. Gazing up toward the right thumb and breathing. Next, exhale, looking down. Inhale to bring yourself up. Relaxing your arms, you can step to the top of the mat. Next, we'll be doing Pavrita Trikonasana, that's revolved triangle. I have a block here. You can get a stack of books if you don't have a block, or just use your body instead of a support. But if you have a block or books or other support, coffee can, whatever, outside of the right foot, we're going to step the left foot back. And we're going to be revolving toward the right, so you want your hips squared up with the front of the room. You may need to step your left leg out a little bit more to accomplish that. Inhaling your left arm up. Exhale, let's hinge and reach first, placing the hand on your support or even your leg or outside of the foot on the floor. And we're going to exhale, turn toward the right, shifting the right hip back, left hip forward a bit here. And this may be where you are. You see a lot of people raising their right arm in this side of the pose. If your shoulders are stacked, you can go ahead and do that also, but definitely not the goal. The goal is to work with your twist. And breathe as you exhale, maybe twisting a bit more. Next, exhale to look down. Inhale to bring yourself up. And we'll grab the block, switch sides. I'll turn around. Left foot forward. Right foot back. Block to the outside of your left foot. Hips squared up with the front of the room or mat, wherever you are. And if that's a little difficult, step your right foot out more to help out. Inhaling your right arm up. Exhale, hinge, reach. Find your support, leg, foot, outer foot. And exhale, turning toward your left. This is my tighter side. You will find that you have a tighter or more difficult side also. So shifting your left hip back, right hip forward a bit. And breathing. Next exhale, looking down. Inhale to bring yourself up. Relaxing your arm and stepping your feet together. We'll set the block out in front of us horizontally on the mat for Prasarita Padottanasana wide-legged forward fold. Say that 3 times fast. So, feet about under your hands here, wider stance. Toes slightly turned in. Inhale up tall. Exhale, hinging forward. This is where you can find your hands to your block or support, and maybe even switch the sides that they're resting on. Find your exhale and hinge forward. Now you can keep your hands here. If you find the floor, you're stepping your hands in between the arches of the feet and bending your elbows over wrists. Rest your head and neck, slight bend in the knees. And after all of those things, shifting a bit of weight toward your toes also. And of course, breathing. Next inhale, begin to straighten the arms and look forward. Exhale your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way up. Step the feet together or hop them. It's up to you. All right, we'll put the block to the side for now. Coming to the top of the mat. And then we'll step out and work with our side angle for a moment. Your right toes out, left toe slightly in. Inhaling your arms up. Exhale, bend the right knee, land it over the ankle, and then we'll hinge over that leg, placing your right forearm on the thigh, inhaling your left arm up. Nice and strong press between the forearm and thigh. Help you rotate toward the ceiling. Now you can stay here and breathe, or maybe you can drop your hand behind the foot. See what works for you. Next exhale, looking down, keep the knee bent. As you inhale yourself up, that's the fun part. And then we'll straighten and we'll switch sides. Left toes out, right toe slightly in. Find your inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, land it about over the ankle. Forearm on the thigh, inhale your right arm up. Gazing up toward the palm if that's comfortable. Nice force between the arm and thigh, pressing those together actively. And you can stay here or drop the hand behind the foot. Inhale to rotate toward the ceiling or sky. Next exhale, looking down, keep the knee bent. Inhale yourself up. Straighten the leg, relax the arms, stepping to the top of the mat. All right, stepping out one more time for our Prasarita Padottanasana C, another wide-legged forward fold. Before we work our way down to the ground, toes slightly in. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, thumbs down, find the clasp behind the back of the hands. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, lead with the heart. Hinge forward. Bending the knees slightly. Maybe your arms come off your back, maybe they don't. Either one is okay. Shifting a bit of weight toward your toes, not as much as when we were supported by the hands. On your next inhale, slowly, gently, using the hands as well, bring them yourself up. Stepping, hopping the feet together. And we'll come back to the top of the mat. Couple breaths. Now we'll go through a nice Sun Salutation A to the floor. You can bring the hands to the heart if you'd like. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find your plank, knees up or down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Couple breaths here. And now we'll drop the knees, come into a nice child's pose for a moment. Knees toward the edges of the mat, toes together. Find an inhale, exhale, shift the hips back toward the heels. And you can rest the head or neck, forehead on the floor, or stacking the forearms and resting your head on those. And breathe a moment. Next inhale, just slowly bring yourself up, and we're going to have a seat with your legs straight out in front of you. You can shift the flesh to the sides, really feel the sits bones come in contact with the ground. We're going to come into the Tadasana, seated staff pose, hands to the outer hips, engaging the legs so that the knees lift, drawing in the lower belly. Even lifting the pelvic floor here, nice and tall. Very active. Breathe into the belly deeply. And release. We'll come into our Asana, forward fold now. Bend the knees. Hands directly under the knees here to start. Find a nice inhale. Exhale, as you begin to extend, you're coming forward always, keeping that belly-thigh connection. And just see where you find your stretch. You may be right here, gazing at the toes, or maybe you can reach the first two fingers around the big toes. Find an inhale, and then exhale. Bring yourself forward a bit more, elbows out to the side. And as you exhale, breathing, hinging a bit more, working with your breath. Releasing whatever you have, inhaling yourself up, and now we'll work on Shavasana A, starting with the right side. Bend your right knee, let it fall out to the side. Bottom of your feet can come to the left thigh. And you may need to shift your left hip back a little bit so you're squared up with your left leg. Inhale up tall. Exhale, hinging over the left leg. Now you can bring your hands to the floor, the shin, or maybe they find the foot. Not rounding and reaching for it, just gazing at the big toe, finding your inhale. Exhale, coming forward. If you have the foot, elbows out to the side. And same thing here, working the pose as you exhale, maybe coming forward a bit more. Releasing whatever you have, inhaling yourself up, and we'll switch sides. So bringing the right knee up, extending the leg, and then bending the left, letting the knee fall out to the side. Sole of your foot can be on the right thigh, and we need to square up with the right leg. So right now I'm not, so I'm going to shift the right hip back a bit. Inhale up tall. Exhale, hinging forward. Maybe hands to the mat, or you can do shin, or if you are able to make it, you can grab the outer edges of the foot, not rounding to get there. Find an inhale. Exhale, bringing yourself forward, gazing at the big toe. And working with your breaths on your exhales, maybe coming forward a bit more. releasing, inhaling to bring yourself up, bringing the knee up and extending. Okay, so next let's do a twist before we work our way toward our prep inversions. So we'll do Asana C, bending your right leg, foot to the floor, about a hand's width from the left leg or in line with your hip. Bringing your right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, turn, hug the right leg, bring yourself around. And this may be your twist here, extended foot flexed. Or you can move and bring the elbow, left elbow, to the outer right knee. Gaze over the right shoulder if that's comfortable. Just working your twist as you exhale throughout the pose. And release. And we'll move to the other side, extending the right leg, bending the left. Hands width from the right leg, or bringing your left foot in line with the left hip. Left hand behind you. Inhale, bringing your right arm up. Exhale, turn toward your left. Bring the arm around for the leg to have a nice hug. And this can be your pose with the right foot flexed, or bringing the right elbow to the outer left knee, bringing the leg across the body. And working this with your exhales, maybe turning a bit further as you breathe. And releasing that side, extending the leg. And now we're gonna lie down and do a few bridges. And then after that, we'll do our shoulder stand modification preparation and our headstand prep to help introduce you to those. So lie down first. Feet on the floor, knees bent. So we're gonna do 3 bridges. Bringing your arms by your sides, palms facing the ceiling or sky. Walk the shoulders under a bit. Your feet are going to stay parallel. A lot of the time you'll go up and they'll try to splay out. So just be aware of your feet. Maybe bring them a little closer to you. So find a nice inhale. And then we'll bring the hips up. Maybe walking the shoulders under a bit more. Engaging the glutes here. And breathe. And release down. Take a couple of breaths. And then we'll come back up. Walk the shoulders under a bit more. You can clasp the hands under you if that works for you, or just work with walking the shoulders under and breathe. And releasing all the way down. Take a couple breaths. Last one, walking the shoulders under and bringing yourself up. Maybe clasping the hands, just working with what you can here and breathing. And then coming down slowly from your bridge, lying with your feet on the floor, you can bring your knees up and give yourself a hug for a moment. And then we'll next do our shoulder stand prep. And I have a block here to use. If you don't have a yoga block, you can use a stack of books or a pillow, cushion, or even yoga bolster under your hips if you have that. And we're going to be lying down, placing our support under the hips, and then lifting the feet. And just remember, whenever you're placing the support, you're going under the tailbone and the hips, not the lower back at all. So just find what's comfortable. If you're trying with a block and that's not comfortable, you could either just bring your hips to the floor or use a cushion or pillow instead. Just something to give the hips a little more lift. So we'll lie down. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Lift the hips and place your block. And make sure it's comfortable before we begin to lift the legs. So just find your support under the tailbone and hips. Palms facing up, walk the shoulders under a bit. And start by lifting one leg, straighten. See how that feels, and lift the other. So we'll point the toes toward the ceiling or sky, then bring them back. So it's like you're holding up the ceiling or sky with the balls of your feet. And we'll breathe here for a few breaths. And if you become uncomfortable, you can always come down early. Just take a moment here enjoying this inversion. And to come out of it, just bringing down one foot at a time. Lift the hips, remove your support, come all the way down. Take a couple breaths here, or you can bring the knees up to you. Give yourself a hug as well after this pose. Maybe rocking side to side. All right, and I'll come up for a moment to show you our preparation for our next pose. We're going to be doing Headstand Prep. So just an intro, something to get you started. And we'll keep the feet on the floor as we go into this. So the most important thing to remember is to build a nice strong foundation. And you can set that up by, I'll face this way to begin with. Bring your forearms to the floor, cross them in front of you, in front of one another. So they should line up so you're able to curl the fingers of your front forearm hand around the elbow slightly. So just take a look here. You can even test this out yourself. This is how wide apart you want your elbows as they come to the floor. Then you're going to bring your hands out in front of you and you're going to interlace your fingers. And then let the pinkies be side to side as you bring them to the ground. And engage the shoulders here. You're going to really use that support and pressing the forearms down. So that's where most of your weight is going to be versus the top of the head. And then you're going to bring the back of your head, cradle it in your hands. So we're wrapping the hands around the back of the head with the fingers interlaced. And as you bring your head to the floor, it's the part of your head touching a little bit toward the hairline, but it's not touching to an extent where you have a lot of pressure on it. So you're basically holding yourself up with your forearms with just a bit of your head touching the floor. So as I turn the other way and begin to go into the pose, just think about that. You're bringing your back of your head cradling, just a bit of the head touches the floor, and just feel the engagement of the shoulders, feel of the weight in your forearms. So we'll do that as I turn in this direction, and you can give it a try. Just remember, if you come up with your feet on the floor, and it's uncomfortable on your head or neck, just back off, maybe try to sit up again, give it another try, or just watch and then find your Shavasana. You'll create your base. Nice head cradle here, resting your back of your head in that. Just a little bit of the head is on the floor. Strong through the shoulders. And begin to straighten the legs a bit, almost like a down dog. And stay here, maybe bringing the feet closer. And breathe a moment. And then we'll come down, drop the knees, find your child's pose, bring your knees out to the sides, toes together, shifting the hips back toward the heels. You always want to go into a child's pose after any sort of headstand. And breathing. And then coming up, and we'll lie down for Shavasana. If you have a favorite Shavasana, you can find that now. Otherwise, extending the hands, extending the legs, extending the arms. Maybe lifting the head, tucking the chin, and breathing. Beginning by feeling the weight of your body on the ground. And then focusing on the breath, counting the breaths up to 4, starting over again until you can settle into your Shavasana. Beginning to bring yourself to awareness by taking 3 deep breaths, long inhales, long exhales. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and toes if you would like. And then finding a stretch. You can bring the arms overhead, stretch through the tops of the feet, whatever feels good. Bringing your arms by your sides, bringing your feet to the floor, bending the knees, or bringing them up to you, giving yourself a hug. And finding your way to lying on your right. And then we'll slowly Carefully come up to seated. Just finding whatever's comfortable. Resting your hands on the legs if you'd like. Closing the eyes, lowering the gaze. Taking a moment to breathe here. Something we don't always have time to do. And just pause. Bringing your hands to your heart, lowering your gaze as you honor yourself and the time you've taken for your practice. And we'll look up and I'll honor you with Namaste. Thank you for coming, and I hope that you feel great.